We start today with another chaos element, in fact, thrown into the 2024 Republican primary race. The mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, a Republican, announced this morning that he is running for president. He's challenging, of course, Donald Trump, the presumptive frontrunner in that 2024 Republican race, but also Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Suarez, if we say that Trump is a Floridian now, which I guess he is, he famously changed his residency to Florida, Suarez becomes the third current or former Floridian elected official, I think better said, to enter the race. And this is going to be interesting for a couple of different reasons. One is that Suarez is Hispanic, and there is increasingly a focus on Hispanic voters, the right talking about Hispanic voters as sort of like, don't assume that they're just going to vote for Democrats, which is true. As I talked about before, although Hispanic voters lean left significantly, not quite as much as Black Americans and Jewish Americans, but Hispanic Americans do lean left. Cubans and Venezuelans are often the exception to that. And we are talking about Florida. So could this be maybe a path for Suarez to gain some traction in the state of Florida specifically? That's number one. Number two, there is, I think, a good argument to be made that Suarez is more of a moderate. He has some corruption issues, but on a number of different policy areas, he's a little more of a moderate, sort of like a technocrat, has expressed support for cryptocurrencies and the like. So I'm as curious as anybody else to see if and how this impacts the race. Let's listen to him this morning on Good Morning America. Oh, no, the clip glitching badly. I'm confident I'm going to get it fixed for us, though. Let's take a listen here.
Good morning, George. It's wonderful to be with you, and good morning, America.
Why are you running for president?
I'm running for president because I think I have a different message than what other candidates have. I'm generational, and not generational as a buzzword, but as someone who has implemented generational change to create prosperity in the city. I'm someone who was a president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, so I know the problem that 85% of Americans who live in cities and 91% who constitute the GDP of this country are going through.
So this is sounding very focus groupy and not like, this is not going to appeal to anyone.
Things like increasing crime, homelessness, mental health issues. I'm someone who has a positive track record of success and has a positive vision for the future. I think what I've noticed in the last 24 hours, just an outpouring of support because people want someone who can unify them. I was elected by 85% and reelected by 80%. And as I've traveled the United States from states like Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada, what people want is someone to bring them together. They want to know more. They want to hear more about my track record, about what I've accomplished and what I could do for them and their children. This isn't about me. This isn't about my generation. This is about our.
Okay, so we'll see if that message does appeal to anybody. The Miami Herald with an interesting report and some notes about Suarez, which we'll put up on the screen right now for you. It says that his brand was recently tarnished. Sources told the Herald that Suarez faces scrutiny by the FBI and local authorities for $10,000 a month payments he received from a developer for consulting work while serving as mayor, which is extraordinarily shady. That's small potatoes compared to Trump's legal problems, they write, but those fees look like a conflict of interest. Much as mounting a long shot yet buzz-filled run for president in 2020 landed Democrat Buttigieg a job as U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Suarez, too, might wind up with a plum political appointment out of this contest or running another office later. In other words, he could win without actually winning. And lastly, going on to say, if he raises enough money and gets a couple of viral sound bites at a presidential debate, Suarez might line up his next job, perhaps as someone's VP or as a paid political commentator or top political consultant. He's energetic, Hispanic, fluent in Spanish, appealing to the type of voters the Republican Party has invested significant resources to attract. As mayor, he's been criticized for focusing too much on shiny baubles and less on the unglamorous job of leading Miami-Dade County's largest city, but those qualities might play well in another role. So the Miami Herald, which has followed Suarez very closely, says this is not only is there no chance, this is not even really about running for president. This is about lining himself up for some future role, VP, who on earth knows. What will be interesting to see is whether Suarez can make it to the debate stage. The RNC just under 2 weeks ago released its requirements for making it to the first debate in late August. And I don't have them right in front of me, but they are something along the lines of a fundraising requirement. I think it's you have to raise money from at least 40,000 different people. And you've got to be polling at least 1% in, I believe, 3 different national polls. Suarez can certainly get himself to 1%. And I'm more interested in what his presence on the stage could do as a Florida elected official. In contrast to Ron DeSantis, you may have 2 voices, Trump and Suarez, attacking DeSantis's record as Florida governor. That would be interesting. It will also be interesting to see what attacks DeSantis mounts against Suarez. My guess is Trump will mostly ignore Suarez if they're on the stage together, and instead just attack DeSantis. So that will be an interesting dynamic. In the meantime, we are going to get a Republican polling update tomorrow. But let's talk about a Chris Christie appearance on Fox News.